All right, football fans, buckle up because today we are diving deep into a championship matchup
Yep.
that has all the ingredients of a real nail-biter.
That's right.
We're talking Plymouth Argyle versus Bristol City.
Oh, yeah?
And we've got the stats, we've got the expert analysis,
We do.
all to help you, dear listener, get a real edge on this game.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you, at first glance, you might think, okay, this seems pretty straightforward, but
Yeah, you might think that.
the deeper you dig, the more you realize this one could really go either way.
There's some interesting trends and stats in this one.
Well, and especially when you look at Plymouth. I mean, they've had, just to put it lightly, a rough season.
They have. It's been a tough one for them. Only 4 wins out of 23 matches.
Oof.
And that actually puts them tied with Portsmouth for the fewest wins in the whole league.
So not exactly where they want to be.
No, definitely not.
But it's not just the lack of wins.
No, exactly. It's how they've been losing that adds another layer here.
Yeah, explain that.
So they've actually scored the fewest goals in the entire championship.
Really?
Yeah. Plymouth, Millwall, and Hull City. All tied for that.
Wow, okay. So offensively struggling.
Yeah, really struggling to find the back of the net.
All right, so that's not great. What about defensively? Are they at least holding their own there?
About that. Not exactly.
Oh, no. What's the story there?
They've conceded 51 goals. That's the most in the league.
All right, so I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, they're also in the top 3 for goal attempts allowed.
Oh, wow. Top 3. So not the worst, but
But pretty close. It's a lot of pressure on their defense.
I mean, yeah, if you're constantly having to defend, eventually something's going to slip through.
Exactly. And, it makes you wonder, is this just bad luck? Are they just disorganized? Or is there something more tactical going on that's leading to all these chances for the other teams?
Yeah, is it a systemic issue?
Possibly. I mean, you look at some of the advanced stats, they struggle to maintain possession, which puts their defense under constant pressure.
Makes sense.
And their defensive line, just watching them, it seems to lack cohesion.
Ah, so gaps are appearing.
Gaps are appearing that opponents can exploit, leading to those high-quality chances that they're giving up.
So not just random shots from way out.
No, they're giving up really dangerous opportunities in front of their own goal.
Well, that paints a pretty, I don't want to say bleak, but a tough picture for Plymouth.
It does.
Especially, as you were saying earlier, when you contrast that with Bristol City.
Right, exactly. Bristol City's been having a solid season, more wins than losses, and a positive goal differential.
Which basically means they're scoring more than they're conceding.
Way more.
Okay. So a team that knows how to find the back of the net and knows how to prevent the other team from doing the same.
Exactly. Their offense is a real force to be reckoned with. They're ranked among the top 10 in the league for goals scored.
Yeah, and I know they're sort of known for that attack. They really go for it.
Yeah.
But I was looking at their defensive stats, too. And
It's impressive, right? They're 9th for the fewest goals conceded.
So they're strong on both ends.
They are. They don't just rely on outscoring their opponents. They actually can shut teams down effectively.
And, from watching them, their defense is organized. They make it very difficult to even get those scoring opportunities.
Absolutely. They've got a really solid tactical foundation.
Okay, this is making me even more nervous for Plymouth, honestly.
Right.
Because on top of all this, you add the recent head-to-head record.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't help.
Which is, let's just say, not in Plymouth's favor. Bristol City has won the last 4 encounters, including, and we have to mention this, that 4-0 drubbing back in November.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Plymouth to swallow.
So I got to ask, is there anything from your expert perspective and all the data that you've crunched,
Right.
anything to suggest that Plymouth might be able to, turn the tide here?
Well, it's football. Anything can happen.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, looking at the numbers, there are a few glimmers of hope for Plymouth. They are at home for this one.
Okay.
And even though they've had a bit of a shaky home record lately, I still think there's always a chance that they could find some extra motivation playing in front of their own fans.
Yeah, that home field advantage, the crowd gets behind them, maybe it gives them that extra edge.
You never know, right?
Yeah.
The energy of the crowd can definitely impact a match.
For sure.
And then you also have to factor in some of Plymouth's individual players.
Okay, who are you looking at?
Mustapha Bundu and Darko Gyabi have been pretty consistent bright spots for them.
Yeah, they've been putting in some good performances.
And then there's Lewis Gibson. This is pretty wild. He's played every single minute of the last 5 matches.
Wow, talk about an Iron Man. That is commitment.
Yeah, I think that's incredible stamina, shows real dedication, and he must be crucial to how they're trying to play.
Yeah, that's interesting. What about Bristol City? Any standout performers or key players on their side that we should be keeping an eye on?
Absolutely. Ross McCrorie and Twine are definitely ones to watch, really pulling the strings in midfield,
Yeah, I could see.
contributing heavily to their attack.
Yeah, they've been a big part of their success.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but
Why?
Robert Dickie, just like Plymouth Gibson, he's also played every minute of their last 5 games.
No, I didn't see that. Wow. So both sides have these iron men in the middle of the pitch.
They do. Maybe these guys just don't like sitting on the bench. I don't know.
Maybe they've got some kind of bet going on who can stay out there the longest.
Could be. But really, it shows how important these players are to their respective team systems. They're clearly integral.
Okay, well, speaking of players, we should also consider, of course, the impact of absences.
Yeah, there are some key players missing for both sides in this one.
Right. And I mean, those absences, those can really tilt the balance of the game.
For sure. So Plymouth will be missing Joe Edwards and Callum Wright.
Okay.
And Bristol City will be without Cal Naismith and Joe Williams.
So how do you see those absences playing out?
Well, Edwards, he's a crucial part of Plymouth's defense. So not having him could really make them even more vulnerable at the back.
Yeah, if they're already struggling defensively, that's not what you want to hear.
Exactly. And Bristol City, Naismith, and Williams, they're both important players, but I think they've got enough depth to cover those absences effectively.
All right, so this is all starting to sound like a really, really tough challenge for Plymouth.
It is.
I mean, they're the underdogs going up against a team that's strong on both ends of the pitch.
Right. And a team that's had their number in recent encounters.
Exactly. But you said it earlier, it's football. Anything can happen.
That is the beauty of the sport.
So do you see, I mean, is there any realistic chance of an upset here?
You can never rule it out completely. I mean, Plymouth has that home field advantage. They do have those few talented players who could make a difference on any given day.
Right.
And Bristol City has shown some vulnerabilities on the road lately. So maybe, just maybe, Plymouth catches them off guard, capitalizes on a mistake or two.
Pulls off a miracle.
You never know. Crazier things have happened in football.
That is true. That is true. Well, there you have it, folks. The stage is set for what could be a truly captivating match. Plymouth, the underdogs, battling against the odds.
And a very formidable opponent.
Bristol City, looking to continue their dominance and solidify their position in the championship. Will Plymouth's home advantage and those sparks of individual brilliance be enough to overcome this really strong Bristol City squad?
Yeah, it's a big question mark.
Or will Bristol City just cruise to another victory? Well, we've given you the expert analysis, we've dug deep into the stats, and now it's up to you to watch and see how this one unfolds. It's going to be a good one, folks. Don't miss it.